the message that's coming through is frozen in time. There is somebody from your past, somebody who has walked away, somebody who ran from you. I'm hearing deer in the headlights. So deer may be important, maybe symbolic to you, relevant to you, or this is somebody it feels like that you had very intense eye contact with. Their eyes in general may be very intense, or there were a lot of deep moments, a lot of unspoken things between the two of you, and there's a sense of they dropped the ball, they froze like a deer in headlights. The moment passed them by, you've gone your separate ways, or they ran from you in the situation. And there's a sense of kind of like the last time that they saw you was like burned in their memory. This person, it feels like, is filled with a lot of regret at this particular point in time. This is somebody who's sitting in the energy of nostalgia right now. This is the energy of somebody that, like, if I had one wish, I would take back what happened. And it doesn't feel like anything necessarily that was said. It was what was not said. It was a choice to kind of just like, let me hold my truth within. Let me just stay frozen like this energy of a deer in the headlights and watch you walk away. And there's a sense that this person has never gotten over you. There's a sense of this person has cried over you. This person dreams about you frequently. They dream about what it would be like to have a second chance, another opportunity. It's the energy of kind of like, I regret that so much. And fumbling this connection, fumbling this situation, missing the opportunity with you, it's up there in terms of like top regrets in their life. And so you may have been feeling this person's energy around you a lot lately. They may have been coming through in dreams as well, because it feels like it's something that they may be at a point in their life where they're kind of like doing a life inventory and sort of like, okay, I'm really not happy with certain circumstances. I'm not happy with, kind of the consequences of certain choices that I've made, or like in this instance, a choice not to act and kind of the ripple effect of that. And so you may be kind of like, you're on this person's agenda in terms of kind of like, I want to make up for the wrongs of the past, or it doesn't really feel like anybody that has like wronged you necessarily, but it's like, I made a wrong choice. I made a wrong decision here. I want to course correct. I don't want to wait for another lifetime to find you. I don't want to kind of like sit in this energy of like, well, maybe it was not meant to be. You're definitely like the right person that was at the wrong time. Like it was the right time, but then this person sort of feels like, I made it the wrong time because I hesitated. I made it the wrong time because I questioned the connection. I questioned the chemistry between the two of us. I got too up in my head. I didn't listen to my heart. And so this is somebody, it feels like, that definitely you're heavily on their mind at this particular point in time. This is somebody, it feels like they've written messages to you, text messages to you, DMs on social media, emails, whatever, and then they've erased it. It's like, I almost hit send. I pulled your contact up and I almost called you. This is somebody, it feels like that they watch they've like seen your social media account and they've almost sent you that friend request. They've almost followed you. They've been like right there of kind of like, okay, maybe this will break the ice between the two of us. Maybe this will let this person know like, hey, I'm still here. I'm still thinking of you. And then they hesitate. And so they've looked it up. They've looked you up. They've been right there on that brink. It doesn't feel like anybody that's made like fake profiles. They're not kind of like sneaking around in the shadows in that sense. It's like they want to approach you with their name as themselves in the light of day. Here I am. Can we talk? Here I am. I mean, remember me. And so it feels like this is somebody that would be very unforgettable. You wouldn't be like, who is this? Or, I have no kind of like reason to believe that, you would have feelings in me because you didn't do anything. And it feels like it would have been a very obvious kind of like crush situation, or something that may have been a long time since you've seen one another, but something where it was like so obvious, like other people might have seen that, other people might have known that. Maybe this is somebody that you were even kind of like dating very casually, and when it came time to like get serious or take things to the next level, you might have given them an ultimatum, or there was kind of like, hey, there was, pressure to act because other like outside circumstances were going to pull you both in different directions. And instead of like keeping the lines of communication open, or fighting for a place in your life, or making a choice to kind of like, hey, let's get through this together, let's figure out a compromise, let's do something, they just kind of like let the moment pass. They let the situation drift by. They chose kind of like the easier route, which was disconnection, and there's been a lot of regret about that. Yeah, and they say we will reunite soon. So this person really wants to talk to you. They really want to reach out to you. This is blast from the past energy, but this doesn't feel like anybody's yucky ex where you're like, I don't ever want to see that guy again. They did me dirty. It took me so long to heal. This is somebody that you might have cried tears over this person. They likely cried tears over you, but it's not because you like nobody did anything to one another. It was just almost the sense of like, oh, that could have been so perfect. It's like a mournful kind of energy of just like, wow, if I had known then what I know now in terms of like what really matters in life, what I'm really looking for in connection, I would have fought against the odds. I would have pushed against those obstacles. I would have spoken my truth. I would have expressed my fears. And it feels like there's a lot of kind of mutual, almost the sense of like, why did we come into one another's lives and it was almost perfect. It was almost something. And then we drifted off in these other directions. And so this feels like this is somebody that they have thought long and hard about that. They have grown and evolved and matured as a person since you last saw them. And there's an energy of wanting to kiss and make up or make up for lost time, but it's not the sense of kind of like having to sort of repair any wounds that were created. The only wound was maybe like something within both of your souls. Could definitely be a soulmate, something where it's kind of like this person feels right, this feels perfect, this feels good, this feels aligned in ways that might have been very unexplainable. But then it never went further to kind of like explore those things or to explain those things. And so it's almost kind of like you're the one that got away for this person. And they want to make up for kind of like the memories that you didn't create with one another in terms of like taking romance to a next level. And they're thinking a lot about the memories that you have made with one another, little moments, little times that you spent with one another, that it feels like are some of the best times of their life, like little instances, little experiences that you've had. They have these in like a keepsake place in their heart, and it's kind of like that was heaven on earth. That was like the doorway to heaven. And I hesitated. I didn't walk through it. I peeked my head in. And then I pulled back, or I froze. I let the moment pass. I also say, let's get through this together. So this is that energy of wanting to get to know one another again, wanting to let you know about many things that have happened in this person's life that have both strengthened and softened them, like humbled them in some kind of way. This person might have thought that you were out of their league in the past, and so that could have been that energy of the deer in headlights. They froze, they hesitated. What could you possibly see in someone like me in a long-term sense? I don't know that I could make you happy beyond just kind of like a couple of nights of passion, a couple of good weeks, a couple of good months, a couple of good years. But they're seeing you as somebody that's like, yeah, I could have built a future with you. I could have built forever with you, but we still have time. There's still time for that. This is a very emotional energy. This is somebody that is almost like they've been through some things. They've been through maybe ups and downs in love and in life. They've gone around the world looking for love, and they've come back around to the reality of like, yeah, I already met that person that there was that bond, there was that connection with, and it's you. And so this energy is coming forth as kind of like, I don't want to come on like too strong. I don't want to come on aggressive. I don't know if you're going to be open to what I have to say. I don't know if you're in a position in your life at this particular point in time to want to receive what I have to give. And they're not coming forth empty-handed, but this is somebody that it feels like it may be very emotional what they have to tell you. Something about kind of like dredging up the past or the past memories between the two of you. This person may like shed tears in your presence while doing that. It may be a very heartfelt kind of confession. They get very nervous when they think about kind of like, what if you don't respond? What if it's just kind of like, oh, that's nice to hear from you. Good to hear from you. But I'm married with kids, or, I vaguely remember those experiences, that summer, those nights. I vaguely remember that, but I'm a different person now. I'm into different things. That's not what I want anymore. I wanted it when I wanted it, and I don't want it anymore. That's kind of like this person's worst fear. But this is somebody that feels like they've got to know, they got to present themselves. A lot has changed, yeah, so it feels like you're going to recognize this person. Again, it's blast from the past. You're going to know who this person is. This is not someone where you're kind of like, I don't know, you were one person out of 1,000 people I went to high school with, and, who are you again? And you're having they're having to jog your memory, like, you're going to know exactly who this person is. This is something that, again, this is like two people who have been maybe like longing for one another from a distance. And so there is that familiarity with kind of like, yeah, I remember you. Hey stranger, but they're not a stranger. But there's a sense of like the way they're living their life, how they present themselves to you, something as far as like an evolution that has taken place through like emotional loss, or seeing that they were kind of like focused on things that didn't really serve their long-term good. This is somebody that brings forth a lot of wisdom. They've evolved as a person. And so this is almost like it was like right person, wrong time, or it was made into the wrong time before, but it's kind of like now they're really the right person, it feels like, and it's really the right time. Yeah, I made the wrong choice. This person is really regretting letting you slip through their fingers. They have asked themselves again and again in the time since you've been apart from one another, what if I had been a little less fearful? What if I had not felt so overwhelmed by the nature of the complications in the situation? What if I had held out hope? What if I had pushed faster, pushed harder? What if I had fought for what I wanted? And that is you. They've thought about this, and so there's a sense of like, I don't want to carry this regret or this sense of what if to my grave. I gotta put myself out there. I gotta fight for this. I gotta knock on that door and see, is there still a chance? I gotta know one way or another. Is it too late for us, the story of us, to become something more than just kind of like a possibility? Yeah, and they say, you're my heaven on earth. So again, this is a sense of like, I'm drawn back to that idea of like the eye contact. They could see eternity in your eyes. They saw themselves mirrored in your eyes, and that might have really freaked them out. And so there's a sense that they've been on some kind of journey in order to come to a place of self-love, come to a place of self-acceptance. They don't run from their own shadow anymore. So this is somebody that wants to come towards you with a level of confidence that might have been lacking before. They were operating really out of ego, and it feels like now they operate out of ego and soul. And so there's a sense of like they do have a lot to give to you. Materially, their circumstances might have changed, but it feels like this is somebody who has truly, they've grown up, they've leveled up, they've evolved from the person that you remember. We have, I need to get my finances together. So again, this is somebody that's like building the courage. They're scripting out those words. They're planning what they want to say. They're planning their approach. This is somebody who's taking steps in the material world. That's Pentacles energy. This is somebody that doesn't just want to be an observer. They don't just want to sit and think. They don't want to mull it over. They don't want another year to go by, another 5 years, another 10 years. They almost feel like this is the year. This is the moment. They have thought about you a lot over the years. They've thought about you a lot over the time since you were last in physical contact with one another. They have felt you energetically. They have sought answers and they have found them. Maybe they've explored spiritual, dynamics or dimensions of this connection of themselves. They've had some kind of awakening. They know who they are. They've got everything they want in their life, but they don't have you. And so this is somebody that is bringing forth a very, like a practical plan of action, or something that isn't just kind of like, hey, I'm lonely and, I'm kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel for something to fill that loneliness, something to fill that hole inside. This is somebody that's okay in their own company. They're okay kind of being alone. They don't settle anymore. They don't kind of call in or encourage low vibrational experiences. They see you as a top tier experience, a top shelf experience. They always felt that you were out of their league, but now there's a sense of like, I am able to sort of envision myself as an equal with you. I've changed things within my life, or I bring more to the table than I had to offer in the past. And so what had made me feel insecure, I don't feel insecure like that anymore. I'm willing to push through that, where in the past I wasn't. Yeah, I adore you. So it feels like this isn't something where they could necessarily call it love, but it's also the idea of like, love is just sort of an empty word compared to the nature of these feelings that they have. It really bothers them, that kind of like unfinished symphony between the two of you. And it's like, could this be love? Is this something that I just built this up in my imagination? As a regret, I didn't act upon it, or I made the wrong choice. I froze up. I let you walk away. I ran off in the other direction, and I didn't fight to reconnect prior to this point in time. Has that been something that has made this kind of like an impossible dream, or something that is kind of like coveted because it's just out of reach? And so there's something, this is something that like, I gotta find out. I gotta find out one way or another. Yeah, we also have meeting you is the best thing that ever happened to me. So you're definitely the one that got away. And it feels like this is, for a lot of you, you would also consider that with this person. They are the one that got away. For a lot of you, this was not ever like a real relationship. You might have dated one another. Could have been a crush situation. This could have been something where, again, outside circumstances, outside obstacles, pulled in two different directions in your life. Like you meet this person the summer before you're both going away to college on opposite sides of the country, and you never hear from one another again. It's that kind of an energy where it's like, we had these magical moments. We had these experiences that were so cherished, that were so treasured. We've had other experiences with other people since then. Our life has evolved. Our lives have evolved very much in opposite ways from whatever we were doing or whatever we had going on before. That this is somebody that has always kept the vision of you, kept the idea of you in their mind as somebody that, like, the way you made them feel inside, the chemistry, the connection, again, that eye contact, seeing themselves reflected for better or worse in your eyes. It is something that is stuck with this person. You have haunted this person. The experience between the two of you has haunted them. And so this is somebody that they want to try to turn things around. They want to see if is it too late? Is there still time in this life for us to explore this connection, to rewrite kind of the potential future here in the situation of just, it's silence. We never hear from one another again. This is somebody that wants to take that bold step forward. They want to put themselves out there. They want to present themselves. They want to knock on that door. They want to say, hey, remember me? And see where it goes from there. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you would please give a like and a comment to show your support on this video, I'd appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more content that I put out here on YouTube. And if you'd like a personal reading, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another video. Please take care and be well.